Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, hello guys, how you doing? I hope you're doing great. I hope you stay in a good and healthy condition. I'm Hendriyana. My ID number is 182122071 and I'm from class B. In this video, I would like to share and present my research plan or research blueprint and my research in the realm of correlation research with the title The Correlation Between Students' Interest and Their Reading Comprehension. So let's start the presentation. Okay, from the second slide we have point A, the background of the study. In English language learning, there are four major skills that students should master. The first one is reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And reading becomes initial and essential skill that students should master it. But to master this kinds of skill is not easy. The students still have a struggle with this skill, and many factors that affect students' skills in reading, especially came from inner factor, such their reading interest, their lack of reading interest, which can influence their capability in reading comprehension. Then why reading comprehension in this age is still important? A big number of literature are still written in English, so that reading skill is very important and it is also required in comprehending the text. We'll realize that we live in digital age, in advanced age, but a big number of literature is still in a written form, such as in a website, in a blog, social media, article, and so on, is still in a written form. And this is why reading is also still important for students to master it. Then, according to Hanning and Brandmeier in 2006, surveys that Egyptian ESL students concludes that interest is one of factors that affects in acquisition of language. In line with this statement, Dewi in 2003 offers a review research on motivation to learn second language and includes interest as a factor involved in situational conception of second language motivation. So this is pretty clear that a student interest can engage students' motivation to do such activities or reading in this context. Then the next point, why this research is also important. Well, this is not one and only research. This is not the first research, but this is the continuation. This is the latest study which focused to find out whether students' interests can help and encourage them to be more interested, willing, and success in students' reading comprehension. Then from the next slide, we have point B, research question. This study conducted to answer the question, is there any significant correlation between students' interest towards reading comprehension? That's for the research question. Then in point C, we have operational definition. The variables of the study are related one another. The first one is students' interest as the main factor of students enhancing their passion in reading. Then reading comprehension is the ability of someone in understanding the certain text. So both of them are related. Yeah. The next point, we have point D, aim of the research. This study aims to find out whether there is a relationship between students' interest and their reading comprehension of the 5th semester English Educational Department student in Siliwangi University. So this study aimed to find out and focus to the students of 5th semester English Education Department student in Siliwangi University. Next, in point E, we have the use of the research. This research, as the latest and continuation from the previous study, which examine on the correlation between students' interest and their reading comprehension. This research is also not focused to development of students only, but also for the teacher. And hopefully this research can make the teacher more aware that the students' interest in reading will improve their reading comprehension skills to gain their language learning objectives. Okay, moving on to the next slide, we have point F, literature review. We have reading comprehension, and interest. So reading in definition is the core aspect in English and focus on the ability to process the text, which means understanding the meaning and integrated with what the reader already knows. That's what we call reading comprehension. According to McNamara in 2009, which is really relatable with the previous statement, it is important for students not only to read, but also to understand what is written. The student is not only have to read something, but they have to consider about the context, the meaning of the certain text. Then the next point, we have interest. Interest can be defined as the quality that something has when it attracts somebody's attention or makes them want to know more about it. This is from Hornby in 2010. Related to Hornby, Ebers in 2011 confirms that by having interest, it will be enable the readers to process the text, comprehend it deeply, and recall the information longer. So not only motivated students, but interest is also can make students easily to comprehend the text deeply and recall the information longer. It means that we can better in remembering the context or something. The next point we have point G, research method. In this research aims to investigate the correlation between the variables, so the research will implement correlation research. And according to Minium in 1993 stated, a correlation study is to define a relationship between two variables. And the variables in this research is students' interest and reading comprehension. Next one, in point H, the population and sample. For the population in this research is the 5th semester English Education Department students of Siliwangi University, which consists of approximately 102 students. And the sample of this research is one class, because the researchers use cluster sampling to choose the sample. And the researchers choose class B, which consists of 32 students. Next, we have time and place of the research. This is will conduct in 20 and 21 at English Education Department on Siliwangi University. Moving on to the next slide, we have research procedure. The first one is statement of research problem. So research problem is the most important part of any research activity. So in this research, researcher investigate a correlation between students' interest and their learning achievement in reading comprehension. Then survey of related literature. Researcher find out the collect the article that related with the study to develop the literature review. And then for a theoretical model and formulation of hypothesis, the researcher make a formulation of hypothesis to test as the result in this research. After that, analysis of data, or for testing the hypothesis, the researchers use correlation method to conduct the study. And to analyze the data and testing the hypothesis, the researcher will use present product moment. And the last, write up of research report. In the last procedure, the researcher will explain the result based on the data analysis and then show the data to prove it. And moving on to the next slide, we have point K, data collection. The researcher will collect the data regarding students' reading interest by giving questionnaire and doing a reading test to assess students' reading comprehension. That's for the data collection. Then moving on to the point L, we have data analysis. To analyze the data, the research will use present product moment, correlation to measure students' score, and to find out the relationship between students' interest and their reading comprehension. So that's all the blueprint, the plan. I hope you guys can understand it. I'm sorry if I made a lot of mistake, and hopefully this research not only can develop me as a learner, but also can develop our education. And thank you for watching, and see you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.